You made it. You're here. You took a pause, a breath, a break so you can keep moving on your Odyssey. Let's take another breath right here, right now to get back into the rhythm of life. Run, walk, crawl, dance, or even read with me. Because no matter how you move, you're still moving. And we all have an Odyssey we're living through. Every step you take shapes the story you're writing. So, respectfully, welcome to Odessey the Podcast.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Des from Odessey the Podcast, and we are here on a new season. As you know, Odessey the Podcast is a podcast about mantras and affirmations from one creative to the other. And on this new podcast, this new episode, I have a guest. Yeah, so I have my girl Tori, Starr, who is here. She is a radio personality. She is a philanthropist as well as a voiceover actor. So we had to get her on. She is not only a new friend of mine, we found out that we cousins. We friends. And she is just such a joy to be around. So Tori, you are here. Thank you so much. First of all, let's get comfortable.
Okay. I'm with it.
Let's get comfortable.
I love these pillows, by the way.
Thank you. So, Tori, let us know about yourself, what you do. You've been in the game since 2005.
Yes.
What made you get into radio?
You know what's crazy? Ever since I was a kid, I would say maybe like 9 years old, my mom had bought me a cassette tape. I don't know how old you are, but like Immature was out. And
I know about cassette
you know
tapes.
Immature?
I know about
She bought me a cassette. And she bought me the little player, but over the player it had a microphone, and so she still has it to this day. I was introducing each song.
I know that's right.
And so like I've always wanted to like be in radio since I could say a kid. I've always wanted to be in radio. So like I went to Fayetteville State University, Mass Communications, Bronco Pride, and here I am. It took me on a journey all the way to Atlanta. So from North Carolina to Virginia to Atlanta.
All right, so let's talk about the journey. Because I think, being a radio personality, you've been in this since 2005. It has definitely changed, I feel, in this new generation. Because I've always wanted to be in radio, too. Like, I've always said, I'm a radio girl to the death of me. I remember listening to the radio, being in the car listening to the radio, to the DJs, recording it over my cassette tape, you know what I'm saying, and making my own stuff and, like, hearing people. And I think the grind is a little differently than it was then as it is now. And I think, for me personally, and you might be able to relate a little bit, I always wanted to be on radio because I ain't got to be on camera.
Yep.
That was one of
the... Now you got to be on camera.
Right, now you got to be on camera. So that's the difference in, I think then and now. But let's talk about your journey as far as like getting into it, because it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not. I literally started. It was weird because I started off as a street team. So while I was at Fayetteville State, while I was at Fayetteville State,
off on the promo team.
I was on the promo. So and I only lasted on the promo for 3 months before I was on the air, which is crazy. I was actually a midday talent before I even graduated college.
Wow.
So what I did was I was everywhere. So if you needed me, I would make my schedule work. So I was on the street team for 3 months. They would see me. I would be at remotes. I would be like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And I would watch. Her name was Dina Metro. I'll never forget. She was the midday personality. And I would just shadow her. I would mimic her. I would walk like her. She was older than me. So I was like, okay, I want to be like her. And so one day somebody didn't make it to a remote. So the program director would say, hey, Tori, do you feel comfortable talking at this remote? Heck yeah. This is my opportunity. I'm about to I was rehearsing. I was like, okay, this is Tori Starr. This is Tori Starr.
Yeah.
So at that time my name was Tori Madras.
Okay.
So I did remote. And when I did the remote, I when I say it was like the best remote, it was like the best remote. I had my friends come. I had like, it looked like a crowd. So the program director was like, oh, well, let me try to put you on the weekends. So something happened to where the midday person ended up quitting. And so
a blessing for you.
It was a blessing. It was a blessing because the program director, because it literally happened like a week apart from me doing the remote, so it's still fresh on his mind on how he was like, I can't believe you drew that crowd, and you're only a college student, like you're not even from here. When I tell you, he was like, look, we only gonna pay you $10 an hour. I was like, you know what?
That ain't bad at that time.
No,
honestly.
it ain't. It wasn't, because minimum wage is like $5.25.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I got it. And so ever since then, I just started soaring upwards. So it was a blessing, and it was not a corporate station. It was Carson Communications, which was a locally owned radio station, very, very small, like 10,000 watts. But it pretty much paved my way and made me who I am. It did the hustle and the grind of being out there, because again, like, social media wasn't a big thing back then. We had MySpace,
if anything at all.
Yeah, we just had MySpace back then, and it wasn't like trending like Facebook or Instagram.
And we didn't use it the way that we use it now.
You just play your little music on it, and that was it. But yeah, so that's how I got into radio, and that was my path.
Okay. All right. So as I was telling you before we got here, I sit, like, I really, when I have the guests come on, I sit with the mantra and the affirmation that I want to use with them, just based off of like what I know and how our interaction has been. Now, the mantra I want to use for you is, I deserve to have fun. Let's talk about how you've used that, you know, in particular, you know, through your journey, because I only say this because you're just such a joyful person. Like, you're such a good spirit. You're always happy, always high, always, you know what I'm saying? Always something going, you know, just in a good light. And I love that about you, because I always know Tori gonna smile. Tori gonna be laughing. Tori gonna make a joke or something. Tori, you know, like, so I feel like, is that something that you can resonate with, where you kind of, as you went on your path, like, this needs to be fun?
Definitely. Like, 'cause, you know, I had a rough life growing up. Like, my mom from Guam, you know, married a military man. You know, he ended up leaving her. Like, it's a whole backstory to that. But I had a rough life growing up. I was super duper poor. You know, like, I'm the only person in my family to graduate college, except my sister. She just graduated last year. Congratulations, Amber. Liberty University. Go ahead, girl. Your Christian church. But it was rough. So I told myself, like, I'm never gonna be sad. Like, I don't want to. Like, I try to always look at the positive light, versus, because anyone can. It's easy to fall. It's really hard to get up and be, you know, optimistic about things. So I always look at the glass half full versus half empty. So, you know, normally what I do when I get up, even when I'm sad, because I've had some traumatic things happen in my life, but I take it and I look at it like a testimony. Like, what can I do to kind of make somebody's day better? I'm more of an empath, so if someone is sad around me, I start feeling sad. That way too. Yeah, so like, I try to do stuff to make them happy. So even when I know they're having a bad day, I might crack a joke, but sometimes I be serious, but they just take me as a joke, because I be like, okay, well, I was being serious, but you don't want to take me as, but it's fine. But like, I definitely feel like, you know, starting on a positive way, just, it's the mind, it's your mental. If you think negative, and you manifest that. And a lot of people don't realize, like, your words are powerful.
Absolutely.
Your words
of the tongue is crazy.
It is. You can speak stuff into existence. And I literally spoke working in Atlanta into my existence when I was in college.
Let's talk about it.
So when I was in college, my program director right now, Reggie Ross, he was in D.C. My professor knew him and would talk about him all the time in our mass communication classes.
He is worth to talk about.
Yes, he's worth talking about.
Yeah.
And so what I said to myself, I want to work for him one day. I'm gonna go to DC and I'm gonna work for him. I'm gonna be on the radio. I'm gonna be like Big Tig. Crazy enough, I work with both of them now.
Right.
But like, I literally told myself I was gonna do it. Even when any job I ever got, even in Virginia, I told myself, I went to a concert in Virginia, and 95.7 R&B was on stage. And I told, when me and my husband was at the concert, I said, I'm going to be on that stage next year.
You know what's crazy? I did the same thing working at V. It was a Winterfest one year, and I went, and I remember I told my cousin, I'm going to be up there. Like, I'm going to be in that, working alongside V103. Literally the next year, I was working at V103.
It's the power of the tongue. You have to really believe it. Like I believe it's so much more that's going to happen to me. And for me, and whatever's for me is for me. And like, I believe in manifestation. I believe in talking. I believe in speaking what you want into existence, not keeping it inside. So if I say, oh, I want to be full-time on V103, guess what? I'm gonna be full-time on V103.
Right.
If I say I want to have my own podcast and I want to be syndicated, guess what?
It's gonna be that.
It's gonna be that. And I just claim it and I manifest it. So that's it's crazy. I just got to V, and it took me a while to realize it. Like, I think at the second meeting I had with V, I seen Tig and I seen Reggie, and I was like,
wow.
I remember all the way in 2005 when I was at Fayetteville State, I told myself, I was thinking about Tig, like, because how he was on the basement and he was doing his thing. I was like, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to work for Reggie. And now I work for both of them. Well, not for both of them, but work with Tig and for Reggie. Yeah.
Now, how do you keep this same mentality of being very joyful and positive when you come around people who may not be like that? Like, even if you're working we work in radio.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of personalities that you come across, whether it be good, bad, on the business side, on the programming side, on, like whatever. How do you still maintain like Tori, Starr, even when you come across them?
I look at people that are negative as if they have something wrong, like it's something wrong with them, something internally. Because some people just wake up mad.
Yeah.
Some people wake up mad. Some people get off on transferring that energy to people.
That's true.
And I just don't let them transfer it to me. So, like, if I'm saying it's a good day and you're like, oh, well, it's raining outside. I'm like, yeah, but it's watering the grass.
Yeah.
You got to think about that. You have to kind of turn it around. So I never let anyone, even though I am an empath, I look at it as like something is wrong with you and you need to kind of release that on your own. So a lot of times I'm like, are you okay? What's going on? I love people happy around me. So when you're sad, I feel a certain way, but I want to make you happy. So whether it's making you laugh, giving you some good affirmations, because I tell people all the time, like, you're good. Thank you. You're doing a good job. You sound great on the radio. I love that interview that you did. Like, I love telling people that because it makes them feel better.
It means something.
I tell people, even like every Sunday when I go into the station, Larry Tinsley and X and Slim is in there, I always say something positive to them. I'll say, X, what y'all doing on the show today? Y'all sound good. My husband is like, y'all biggest fans. Like, I say that, it kind of like, people don't really tell people that unless you're a famous person.
Yeah.
But like, to just know someone's listening and you have a fan base, or that might turn your frown upside down.
It will.
Yeah. So that's how I handle it.
Now, you saying like telling people that positive thing, or kind of, because I've not even recently, but I try to make it a point, and you read about it and you see it where they're like, tell somebody something good today, because it really does turn you around. It turns that other person around. Like, so when you say something to somebody, I just lost my train of thought, Lord. We'll cut it out. But when you say something positive like that to somebody, how does it, I guess, affect you in a sense? I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's the energy.
Yeah.
It's the energy. Like, the thing is, like, it's not a fake compliment.
Yeah.
If it's like, I don't believe in lying to people. like one thing about me that everyone knows, I'm just not a liar.
Yeah.
And like, I'm a very honest, truthful, transparent person. What I love to tell people is I move with pure intentions. So that way, it's no malice. So even if it's something that's direct or firm, because I can be direct and I can be firm, but it's coming from a pure intention place. I'm doing it to help you, or something that I observe. Like, and I love, like, I give people compliments. If I see something like, you look good today, I like your outfit, or you lost weight, or this, like, to give that. Somebody could be working out. I'm like, oh yeah, I did. Thank you. I didn't know. Like, I told her that when she walked in, because she is. So I just believe in, like, just telling people and just showing up for them.
It's back.
Okay, I knew it was gonna come back.
It's coming back. So like, in this generation, I feel like a lot of people, maybe even on the girls, they don't really do that too much.
No,
they don't do that. They don't give you the compliments or the praise, in a sense, or whatever. A lot of people like to keep certain things to themselves, you know what I'm saying, when they see things. I don't know what the reasoning would be, like, because I don't move in that way, but like, have you come across that, or can you speak on that a little bit, like, where you see people, or because I just feel like it's they have all these brunches and lunches and these girl groups and cliquies, and it can be very mean girly, in a sense. And I feel like that could sometimes affect our creativeness and like how we move in our path and how we move in our, whatever our gift is, because you're like, dang, I'm doing all of this, but like nobody is even recognizing, or I'm in these spaces and nobody is saying anything. So like, one, I want to give you kudos to making that a point to, like, speak to people, but let's talk about the ones who don't.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a competition thing, and it's more about their self-esteem. A lot of people, just like, how they say the loudest one in the room is the most insecure in the room.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I feel like people who don't want to help you, or people who feel like they want to harbor all the stuff inside, is because they're scared that if they let anybody else light shine, it's going to dim theirs.
There it goes. Yeah.
Me, I don't worry about it. You can be the brightest star, but my light is still going to shine.
Right.
So like, I've always been a person of like, okay, I like to shine a light on other people, because I have enough light for anyone, for everyone. I feel like
I say that all the time. Like, my purpose on this world is to give light. Like, that is literally my purpose. That's the point of this podcast as well, is to give that light, give that, that inspiration, that motivation to those who may be going through stuff, because I have gone through depression, anxiety, and where I have doubted myself and doubted my gifts, and it was also because there were certain people around me who did not pour into me or want to even recognize what I'm able and capable of doing. Because I think sometimes we, as creatives, we need that support group of people who believe in us just as much as we believe in ourselves.
Right. Yep. You got to find out who's fanning your flame and who's dousing it. You know, you have to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, or people that aren't there to put shade of, because there's some people, they want to be around you just so they can pull from you, and they're not pouring. They suck out they're sucking it out, like they're taking all you can give, and you don't have nothing to pour left. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. I tell my daughter all the time, like, you can't pour, you can't give. I know when it's time to retreat and go back into my little hole. I go to therapy every Tuesday at 1:30. You know, I'm in therapy, and I feel like it's very important, especially of women, people of color. Yeah. It's good to talk to someone to let it out and talk about it. Because when you keep it in, let me tell you, like, I haven't been the person I am today my whole, like, in my early 20s, when I was beginning in radio in college, I wasn't a nice person. Yeah. I was always weary and leery of people. I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't trust people. I didn't trust people because I saw what people were capable of doing. So, like, I didn't surround myself with people. And then when I did start surrounding myself with people, it's a whole little thing. I would think, like, because my friend passed away in 2014, and then my other friend passed away, and then my other friend passed away, and I'm like, oh, if I get close to somebody, they're gonna die. And so that was something that was harboring me, but I would never talk about it. Yeah. So then people would be like, I would get real close with somebody, and then I would stop talking to them.
Wow.
And this is one of the reasons why I started to go in therapy, because I would like, man, why do I keep doing that? Like, this is a really nice, and then people reach out to me, hey, Tori, I want to check on you, because I'm always such a ray of sunshine. Yeah. But I'll go back into my hole, and I'll stay in my house, and I'll watch TV, and I'll binge watch, you know, whatever, and eat or whatever. And then I'll come out of my hole, and I'm like, hey, girl, what's going on? I'm like, you've been missing for 2 months. It's because I was scared if I get too close to you, you're gonna die. Yeah. So, like, you know, it's very important on who you surround yourself with. And now I'm realizing, like, it's a lot of people that mean good for you. Yeah. And you have to be able to trust them. Yeah. And people will show you who they are eventually.
Those colors will come out.
They will definitely come out. And they have. Like, there's been people that I thought were good people, and they weren't. And then I just exited. And I told them, like, you were here for this season. You were my friend for this season. Now it's time for me to move. I have to leave you here because I'm on to a new season, and you're not ready to go there yet.
How do you deal with that in the workplace? Because, again, the podcast is on creatives. And we just come across a lot of these people that sometimes we are forced to work with them, or, you know, it's kind of hard to say exit to that if you have to be in front of that person's face all the time to some degree.
You have to make it a work relationship. I feel like if you make it strictly a work relationship, because you don't want that person negativity or whatever energy they have to consume you, and now you're feeling like mopey, or you know, when you leave, like Eeyore, you feel like Eeyore when you leave. Yeah. So, like, what, you know, I've worked with people. I co-hosted with someone who was horrible. I'm not gonna say his name, but he probably know what I'm talking about. But, you know, he was just a negative person. He was a womanizer. He didn't like, he felt like women should be barefoot, pregnant, in the house cooking. That's crazy. Like, you shouldn't have an opinion. And we had to get along for a whole show. So what I would do is I would pretend like he's somebody else. I would, like, just before I would come to work, I would say, hey, look, this is a job. You don't want to go off on this person. I would talk to myself so that way I was mentally prepared to go into this work setting with him and listen to him talk about women. And then it just worked. It just worked for me because, like, I wouldn't because a lot of people transfer energy. Yeah. And they do. And, like, I be trying to tell people, like, you have to really, when people are blah, 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 you can listen to for a certain amount of time. Yeah. Cut it off afterwards. If it's not serving you, just say, okay, you know, I feel like it was a good show, and, you know, how's the kids doing? Okay, well, I'll see you next week. You know, I won't have a long conversation because I don't want you to drain me on how it make me feel bad, because now you're talking junk about women.
Because I've already got my headset as far as how I see you, how I want to go about it. Now, if you pour some other stuff into me, it might switch that up. Right. Now, what other tools have you used as far as to get your mental together in this space to go about the career that you have? Because you know, mentioned your friends passing away. You mentioned not working. with a co-host that you know actually liked, what other tools that you take on besides going to therapy, or even before you started going to therapy, that you kind of still use today?
Journaling.
Okay.
Journaling is something that I feel
we love
like
a journal on Odessey the Podcast.
I love journaling.
Okay.
Like if I'm feeling a certain way, and I don't keep it out. Like I don't go back and reread it. I'll write it. I'll read it once and I burn it.
Okay. Yeah, but I used to do that. I've done that.
Yeah, because I don't want nobody reading my stuff, for one, because I be saying some stuff in my journal. I be talking junk, okay? If you read that, you be ready to put me in jail. So I want to do that. So I'll write it, and if it's something of anger, I will write down exactly how I feel, because I'm the only one that's going to read it. Yeah. So I don't feel bad about saying some of the stuff that I know that's probably bad for me to say. Yeah. I'll write it down, read it, burn it, I'm done with it. And now now my mind is in a different space.
Because you've already let it go.
I've already let it go.
Letting
it go. And that's been working for, and I've been doing that before, meditation and all that stuff has been a big thing.
Yeah. So what would you tell small Tori or little Tori or even the beginner Tori in her creative journey or being a radio personality? What is one thing you would go back and tell her?
I would tell her to be patient.
Okay.
I would definitely say be patient. And keep your eyes on the prize, because a lot of I think I would have been further in my career if I wouldn't have let, like, a man, for example, because I got married early. I wouldn't have let men my husband take a big part of that.
Yeah.
I killed a lot of my career in the beginning stages.
I'm guilty.
Right, because I
think
didn't want
a lot of women are.
A lot of women are, because you get a lot of attention as a woman. Mm-hmm. You deal with celebrities, you deal with, attractive men, rich people, so like that could be very, like, men get insecure about that. And a lot of time in my early career, when I was really, really, really popping, I mean, I'm kind of popping now, but when I was really, really popping full time, it was a lot for my husband. So a lot of things I would say, no, I don't want to host. No, I don't want to go to the BET Awards. No, I don't want to do this. No, if he can't come, now I'm good on that. I'm not going to go. Yeah. And if I would have done that, I would have been in a room with some people that could have elevated my career
a lot quicker.
So, so I would have told myself to keep your eyes on the prize, and just steady the course, and don't let anyone, like, distract you from what you really want to do.
Okay, I'm with you, girl. I've been there. That's why we popping out the way we popping out now, because I have allowed somebody to, shift me. But before we go, what I always like to ask my guests is, what is the one mantra or affirmation that has literally gotten you through your entire journey?
I have a couple of them, but when I say on the radio all the time, I always say, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? Strive for the best and forget all the rest. I
know that's right.
So I said at the end of my show, any shift that I do, I always say, like, strive for the best and forget all the rest. Believe in yourself, because if you don't, nobody's going to believe in you. Right. You can't go and say, hey, I'm 110 pounds. You got to really believe it. Like, I'm going to get to 110 pounds. Like, I am that chick. I am that person. When before I come to the station, I'm like, hey, I'm that chick. I'm about to kill this show today. And then I go in and I kill the show. So, like, you have to believe in yourself. Like, a lot of times people fake believe in themselves. You have to truly believe. A lot of people say, oh, I can, I will, but don't really believe in it. When you believe in it, you can move mountains. It's a different feeling
when you believe in yourself.
It is very different when you believe in yourself and not care what other people think, and you're gonna do it because you feel like you will, and you striving for your eyes on that prize. You do it every single time. 10 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Well, Tori, let us know where we can find you. A little, like, what's up with Tapping with Tori?
Okay, Tapping with Tori. You can tap in with me on V103 every Sunday, 12 to 3. But you can also check me out on all social media platforms at The Radio Diva. TheRadio Diva.
Hey, thank you so much for coming.
I didn't sign the book.
We're going to sign it after. She ready to journal, y'all. She ready to journal. She ready to hit the journal. But this is your girl, Des, from Odessey the Podcast. Make sure you guys continue to tune in to us and listen to us on all streaming platforms. It is Odessey the Podcast, Odessey. Follow us on Instagram. It's the same way. We got a little TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok, Desi, TDESIITEE. And you already know what to do, okay? So this is Odessey the Podcast. You made it. You're here. This is your good 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, to kind of get you through on that drive, on that run, and just get that little burst of inspiration from one creator to another. So make sure y'all continue to stay tuned in and locked in with us, and we'll see you next time.